You guys want to hear a story time on how one of my classmates tried to steal one of my teacher's phones in the middle of class? Stay tuned. Okay, let's start the story time off at Ruth, you silly goose. Let's start the story time back in the very beginning. So, it's say 4th grade. I had this friend, his name was Samuel, alright? Very weird kid. Now, I'm not a judgmental person, but he was just really not normal. He would always steal stuff from kids, but never, a teacher would catch him, but he'd still deny it. I don't know, it's like he wasn't really smart on how he stole things, right? So he was always known for his stealing. He would always start small. It would always be a pencil or an eraser or anything such as along the lines of that. As the year went on, he would slowly get more and more products, like he would steal more and more. And eventually, he got to the point where he'd start stealing like headphones and Obito Uchiha. And he would start to steal headphones and electronics and stuff. And so the school really started to have a problem with it. Have a problem with him and what he was doing. So they kind of suspended him for a few weeks, but not the whole year. They suspended him, I think it was 4 weeks. And I'm still friends with the kid, keep in mind. He never stole anything from me, so me and him were still on good terms. And he didn't have a real big friend group. It was just kind of me, him, and my friend Jake. And he never stole anything from either of us, but he would steal a lot. Like, he would steal more than anything. Like, you knew this kid wasn't, like, right in the head. Now, come say halfway through the year, him and I are still friends, but Jake is no longer friends with us, and he ends up stealing something from Jake and gets in really big trouble because it was his phone. And he would always steal stuff from just kids, which is kind of normal. I don't expect him to steal anything from anybody else. Nobody did. But he steals the phone and gets suspended for another 5 weeks. But after he steals the phone and he's suspended for the 5 weeks, him and I kind of stopped being friends. We just kind of stopped talking. And he came back to school and he tried talking to me, and I was like, nah, bro, we can't talk anymore. We ain't friends no more. You stole stuff from Jake, who I was still friends with, but he was not. Now, the thing about this whole issue is me, Jake, and Samuel, we were all in the same homeroom, and that homeroom was kept throughout the whole year. It never switched. And our homeroom teacher, her name was Miss Webb. Now, my friend Samuel, being in 4th grade, he had a crush on her teacher, which, come on now, let's be honest, who doesn't?
Excuse me, what?
Have a crush at a young age on a teacher. Now, Miss Webb, she was the nicest person ever. She was always on his side with everything, even though he would steal stuff. Now, Samuel, he would never steal anything from a teacher or a faculty member because, well, you can get in some serious trouble for that. Now, you can get in serious trouble for stealing stuff, but never, like, legal trouble. Now, the end of the year comes. It's like a week before the end of the school year. And my friend Samuel, we became friends halfway through the end of the last part. So me and him are talking again. We weren't really friends, but we were just talking. He kind of stopped stealing for a while. He didn't steal anything from any students or anything because he realized he shouldn't, and he can get in some serious trouble for it. We are getting absolutely obliterated in this game. Now, before this video continues, guys, you should subscribe so you get a notification whenever I post. But make sure to turn on the bell. Yeah, anyway, back to the story. So the end of the year comes, and it's like a week before we leave, and Miss Webb, she got a new phone. She got the brand new phone, and she comes into school with it. All right, great. Now, keep in mind, Samuel hasn't stolen anything in months since he got suspended for the 5 weeks. And now, at the end of every day, because it was coming to close to the end of the year, at the end of every day, everybody would go back to their homeroom, and they would, I should have hit him. And they would just chill there for 45 minutes, hang out, talk to friends, do whatever, do homework. And you just hang out there for 45 minutes at the end of the day. And my teacher, she would put on this show called, what was it? I can't think of the name. But anyway, that show where like a bunch of trippy stuff happens. And it's like, now no teacher really liked Samuel. He was a really rude kid, didn't do very well in school. And he would just kind of slack off. All right, back to the story. Now, we're all sitting there. We're watching the movie or show. I don't remember if it was a movie or a show. I think it was a show. But we're all watching it, right? And Samuel, he goes up to talk to our teacher. No one knew what about. He just went up and talked to her. I was sitting there and watching the show, and he comes back and sits down. But he sits facing sideways. And now that was kind of weird because he never did that. He always faced normal, just straight. And since he sat sideways, that was just a little suspicious. And come like 10 minutes before we had to leave, my teacher went to go grab her phone and realized it was missing. Now, she told everybody to get up and look around for her phone. So everybody in the class, they get up, they start looking, they searching. Samuel, his dumbass, he took the phone, but he didn't get up to look for the phone. So he took it and it's sitting in his pocket, right? He's just sitting there while the rest of us look for the phone. Now that was a little suspicious on its own. And no one could find the phone in the entire room. So my teacher, Miss Webb, she gets up, right? She gets up, she starts looking for it, and she notices Samuel just sitting there. And Samuel had shorts on, like those baggy shorts that if you had your phone in your pocket, your shorts would sag. So she tells Samuel to get up. Now he gets up, and she didn't see anything. She didn't see it on him holding it or in his pocket, right? And then he walks out of the room because, well, she asked him to. And so they're talking. No one knew what they were talking about. The end of the day comes, and we're all walking outside. We're going to the bus stop, and I asked him what she was talking about, and she asked him if he stole her phone, and she believed him when he said no. Now, we all had our backpacks at the end of the day, so he could have easily put it in his backpack, and she didn't go and look through it. Her mistake. Now, we go out to sit at the bus stop, and we sit right next to each other on the bus. And we're sitting there on the bus on the way home, and right before his stop, he goes, "Yo, look what I have." And I look over, and there her phone is. And I had no way of telling her because it was the end of the year. So we no longer saw our teachers. And he had her phone, and to this day, I still don't know what he did to the phone. He got off the bus, and I never talked to him again because I ended up moving before the next year. So I never found out what happened to the phone. I hope you guys did enjoy this little story time about how one of my classmates stole one of my teacher's phones. Still to this day, he still probably has the phone, or obviously probably tossed. But I wonder if he ever found out the password. If you want a part 2, comment down below. See you guys in the next one. Peace.